All right, excuse me. The fourth video that we're going to take a look at now, or fourth topic, I'm sorry, is rescue. Here we go. Cave diving is among the most enjoyable of the many adventure sports. That's why we got into it, right? For sightseeing or spearfishing. However, accidents can occur. The objective of the information here is to reduce the risk of this happening to you. Reinforcement. Let's see, if you and your buddy are adequately trained and prepared, you have a lifetime of enjoyable diving in front of you, as the few accidents that do occur are usually preventable. So we're going to look at different rescue techniques, anywhere from emergency ascents to signs of a panic diver, steps involved in rescue preparation, look at techniques for recovering a submerged victim, and the 10 steps in accident management. All right. Emergency ascents. There's 5 emergency ascents that we're going to look at, from redundant system ascent, emergency swimming ascent, buoyant ascent, and dependent ascents, whether it's alternate air source or buddy breathing. Okay. Redundant system ascents, that's when it requires a second independent source of air, like a pony bottle. I have a pony bottle. I have a 19 cubic foot pony bottle with a separate first and second stage attached to it. And it's gonna theoretically provide enough air, for me to make an emergency ascent and get to the surface, to handle my issue or problem at the surface. All right. The next emergency ascent is the emergency swimming ascent. Here, the diver retains the second stage in the mouth, looks towards the surface, and uses the buoyancy compensator valve to exhaust excess air if required, and actually swims directly to the surface as close to the normal ascent rate as possible, while exhaling gently along the way. By using air in the lungs, the air expands as you ascend due to less pressure. In theory, you'll be okay by reaching the surface. All right. Next emergency ascent is the actual buoyant ascent. This is where a diver ditches the weights, arches backwards into like a belly up position, extends the arms and legs horizontally, like spread eagle, all in like a flare position, and while continuing to exhale on the way to the surface. This is used when something's wrong, you probably can't swim to the surface, but because of the lack of control during the rate of ascent, a buoyant ascent is considerably more risky and should be used only if you cannot swim to the surface. Okay. Next, we're going to look at dependent ascents, whether either alternate air source or with buddy breathing. In the alternate air source, you're actually using your buddy's octopus, or you could be using their primary, if they're using the Air 2 system. First, what you're going to do is, your buddy passes, their source of air, lock arms, get your breathing under control, and comfortably make your way to the surface. All right. Whereas the buddy breathing is similar to the alternate air source dependent ascent, but this time you're actually sharing the one primary regulator. okay? And a disadvantage of buddy breathing is the possible disease transmission associated with sharing mouthpieces. Okay. All right, here we're going to look at panic diver, or signs of a diver experiencing problems both underwater and at the surface. So looking at some of the signs where a diver's underwater, possibly getting panicked. You'll see wide, fright-filled eyes, gear ejection. You probably, they've got a problem. You're trying to pass them off something and they just won't take it. Some struggling, like in an upright position, doggy paddling. You notice maybe the hyperventilating, rapid breathing. They could spit their regulator out. Some choking. So just some signs to be aware of for a panic diver in the water. At the surface, one of the things that we've been taught is to not put your mask on your forehead. That could be a sign of a diver in distress. Some other signs is choking or coughing, continuous overfilling of the BC, like they just can't get enough air in there to be positive buoyant. Or another sign is actually a diver face down in the water with no signs of breathing. Okay. All right, as far as rescue preparation, some steps you could take is actually completing the NAUI Scuba Rescue Diver or the Advanced Diver course. That's some typo there. Or Advanced NAUI Advanced Diver course. Those courses are available. Only intercede if the rescue is within your training and capability. Don enough equipment to be able to rescue a diver. Take some flotation with you that can be extended to the person in distress, because one of the things that you learn that person, as they're struggling, they want to get on something that floats. You look like you're floating, so they'll actually climb on top of you. Okay. Instruct nearby divers, if trained in practice, to don scuba gear and follow you on the rescue attempt. Instruct nearby observers to point to the distressed diver's location. Instruct the nearby observer to stand by to summon medical assistance. And monitor the condition of the rescuer, victim, and environment throughout the entire rescue. Okay, that's very important. All right, some steps to recover a submerged victim. The concern here is to actually get the victim to the surface. So what you want to do is establish buoyancy for the diver by ditching their weight. Only inflate the BC if necessary. As we know, as the diver ascends, air expands in the BC, and it could be, at that point, an uncontrolled ascent. So something to be mindful of by covering the diver's pressure inflator hose. All right, hold the diver's regulator in place during the ascent. Pay attention to proper ascent rate so that you minimize the risk of injury. And then at the surface, get the diver buoyant in a horizontal position and then call for help. And from that point, there's other rescue procedures as far as resuscitation at the surface, or and then getting the diver to land or on the boat. All right, as far as accident management, have someone summon medical assistance. Have someone keep account of all divers involved in the diving activities. Okay, you want to locate the victim's body as soon as possible. Control the group and any observers. Okay, you want to station someone to meet and direct emergency medical personnel, so they'll know, where the accident or event is taking place. You want to assign someone to keep a time log of all activities and events. so they can, properly inform emergency personnel at the scene. You want to assign someone to locate the victim's identification in any medical history or medical alert information. You want to monitor the victim continuously, even if he or she regains consciousness and indicates a feeling of well-being. All right, you want to secure the victim's equipment. Do not test the gear, don't turn off the air. You can turn off the air, but do not remove the regulator from the tank. Keep the scuba kit intact. Okay, so in summary, you want to be aware that additional training, you should be aware that additional training is essential in order to effectively perform the rescue of a diver, administer first aid, manage an accident, and coordinate the evacuation of a victim. Some of the things that we went over, we learned options for emergency ascents, signals of a panic diver, steps of rescue preparation, techniques for recovering a submerged victim, and the steps of accident management. Okay, again, to reinforce, by completing the NAUI Rescue Scuba Diver or Advanced Rescue Scuba Diver course, you'll develop all of the skills and knowledge needed in the event of a diving emergency. Okay, that will conclude this lesson, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Nitrox. Bye-bye.